Picture this. A Hollywood icon worth $500 million suddenly stops watching movies entirely. Not just new releases, but everything. Denzel Washington admitted in August 2025 that he hasn't watched a single film from start to finish, including his own. And when asked why, his answer was chilling. "I'm tired of pretending." But that's just the surface of Hollywood's most untouchable star. For over 4 decades, Washington has operated by a code nobody fully understands. He doesn't network at parties. He doesn't do favors for studios. And most importantly, he doesn't forgive. In January 2025, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Hollywood's most respected actor honored by the nation. But here's what they didn't tell you at that ceremony. There are 6 actors whose names Denzel Washington will never speak again. Not because of public feuds or dramatic confrontations, but because of something far more calculated. These actors violated his unwritten rules, and once you cross that line with Denzel, you don't get a second chance. Before we reveal who these 6 actors are and what exactly they did wrong, hit that subscribe button because what you're about to hear will change how you see Hollywood forever. Trust me, number 3 on this list shocked everyone when the truth finally came out. Let's start with something you need to understand about Denzel Washington. This man prays before every single take. Not occasionally, not when he feels like it, every single take. He kneels down, asks for forgiveness, then delivers performances that have earned him 2 Academy Awards, 3 Golden Globes, and a Tony Award. He's been called the greatest actor of the 21st century by the New York Times. But behind all those accolades is a man who treats acting like a sacred ritual, not a job. And when someone treats it like a game, that's when the problems begin. When The Magnificent Seven started filming in 2015, everyone thought Chris Pratt had hit the jackpot. Working alongside Denzel Washington in a major Western remake, what could go wrong? Everything. As it turned out, Pratt brought his trademark energy to set. Jokes between takes, improvisation during rehearsals. That infectious charm that made him a Marvel superstar. But Denzel wasn't laughing. See, Washington approaches even popcorn action films with the same intensity he brings to Shakespeare. And that's literally true because right now, in 2025, he's performing Othello on Broadway with Jake Gyllenhaal. Every role matters to him equally. A crew member from The Magnificent Seven revealed something fascinating. Denzel never ate lunch with Pratt. Not once in 5 months of filming. While Pratt held court at craft services, entertaining the crew with stories and impressions, Denzel ate alone in his trailer, studying the next scene. The contrast was so stark that even the horses noticed it. Yes, the horses. Denzel spent hours with his horse every morning, talking to it, bonding with it, treating it like a scene partner. Pratt showed up, got on his horse, and started filming. During the press tour in 2016, watch those interviews closely. When Pratt called their relationship a bromance on Good Morning America, Denzel's jaw tightened for exactly 2 seconds. He never responded to that comment. He never acknowledged it. And when the film premiered, Denzel praised director Antoine Fuqua 17 times in interviews. He mentioned Ethan Hawke 12 times. Chris Pratt? 0. Here's what really sealed Pratt's fate, though. During a crucial dramatic scene, Pratt improvised a joke that wasn't in the script. The cameras kept rolling, but Denzel's expression changed. He finished the scene, walked directly to his trailer, and didn't come out for 3 hours. Production had to shoot around him. That was the moment Chris Pratt got erased from Denzel Washington's future. They called it the most anticipated pairing of 2021. Denzel Washington and Jared Leto in The Little Things, a dark crime thriller that should have been Oscar bait. Instead, it became the film where Denzel Washington learned exactly how much method acting he could tolerate. The answer? None from Jared Leto. Leto stayed in character for the entire 4-month shoot. He insisted everyone call him Albert Sparma, his character's name, even at the hotel. He sent disturbing gifts to cast members, including dead animals, claiming it helped him understand his character's mindset. But here's what nobody reported. Denzel refused every single gift. His assistant was instructed to intercept anything from Leto and dispose of it immediately. The breaking point came during a night shoot in the desert. Leto, still in character, tried to psychologically intimidate Denzel between takes, whispering disturbing things to maintain the tension. Denzel's response was unprecedented. He called cut himself, something actors never do, looked directly at the director, and said 5 words that changed everything. "I need 10 minutes alone." When he returned, Denzel Washington did something he'd never done in 40 years of filmmaking. He requested separate call times from his co-star. For the remaining 6 weeks of production, Washington and Leto were never on set at the same time unless cameras were rolling. Their scenes together were shot in tight schedules, and the moment Denzel heard cut, he was gone. During the press tour, something extraordinary happened. Denzel did exactly 3 interviews about the film. 3. For comparison, he did 47 interviews for The Equalizer 3. And in those 3 interviews, he mentioned Rami Malek, his other co-star, 22 times. Jared Leto's name came up once, and only because the interviewer asked directly. Denzel's response? He's committed to his process. That's not a compliment in Denzel's world. That's a dismissal. This one hurts because it started with so much promise. Training Day gave both actors career-defining moments. Denzel won his 2nd Oscar. Hawke got his 2nd nomination. But what audiences saw as electric chemistry was actually carefully controlled conflict. The truth is, Denzel never wanted Ethan Hawke for the role. He pushed for Don Cheadle, someone he'd worked with before, someone who understood his process. But director Antoine Fuqua insisted on Hawke, selling it as a clash of acting styles that would enhance the tension. He was right about the clash, wrong about everything else. Hawke came from the Richard Linklater School of Filmmaking, where actors explore, discover, and sometimes rewrite entire scenes through improvisation. Denzel came from August Wilson, where every word is sacred, every pause is intentional. During the famous King Kong scene, Hawke wanted to improvise the reactions. Denzel shut it down immediately. "The script says what it says," he told Fuqua, loud enough for everyone to hear. But here's the part that really destroyed their relationship. In 2017, 15 years after Training Day, Hawke did an interview where he claimed he helped Denzel find his character. He said, and I quote, "Denzel was searching for Alonzo's humanity, and I helped guide him there." When Denzel heard this, witnesses say his entire demeanor shifted. He didn't respond publicly, but privately, he made 3 phone calls. Within a week, Hawke was quietly removed from consideration for 2 major projects Denzel was producing. The nail in the coffin? When asked in 2019 whether he'd work with Hawke again, Denzel's answer was surgical in its precision. "We already did something good." Translation, "We're done here." Two Guns should have been easy money. A buddy cop action film with 2 bankable stars directed by Baltasar Kormakur, released in the sweet spot of August 2013. But from day one, Mark Wahlberg misread the room, specifically Denzel Washington's room. Wahlberg showed up treating it like a comedy. He riffed between takes, made up nicknames for crew members, and worst of all, he tried to make Denzel laugh during rehearsals. You don't make Denzel Washington laugh during rehearsals. You don't even try. One grip described it perfectly. Watching Wahlberg try to buddy up to Denzel was like watching someone try to high-five a statue. The most telling moment came during a chase sequence. Wahlberg suggested they improvise some banter during the run. Denzel's response was immediate and final. "No, not let's stick to the script, or maybe we should ask the director. Just no." Wahlberg tried to laugh it off, made another suggestion. Denzel walked away mid-sentence. During press interviews, journalists noticed something odd. In every single interview, Wahlberg sat to Denzel's left, always, without exception. Later, a publicist revealed this was Denzel's requirement. He wanted Wahlberg in his peripheral vision, not his direct line of sight. It allowed him to answer questions without having to look at his co-star. When Two Guns wrapped, Wahlberg posted 17 Instagram photos from the set. Denzel appears in 0 of them. Not because he wasn't there, but because he specifically requested not to be photographed with Wahlberg unless it was official marketing material. And when the film underperformed at the box office, Denzel had his answer ready. Sometimes chemistry isn't enough. Everyone in Hollywood knew exactly who he was talking about. This one's different because Tyrese Gibson never even got his shot. But the way Denzel Washington shut him down became legendary in Hollywood circles. In 2014, Tyrese started a public campaign to work with Denzel. He mentioned him in 23 different interviews over 6 months. He called him the GOAT. He said Denzel was his inspiration. He even claimed they were meant to work together. Denzel's silence was deafening, but Tyrese kept pushing. At the 2014 BET Awards, Tyrese approached Denzel during a commercial break. Witnesses say the conversation lasted exactly 45 seconds. Tyrese pitched himself for a role in Denzel's next film. Denzel's response, "I'll think about it." In Hollywood speak, that means absolutely not. But Tyrese didn't get the message. He started telling people Denzel was considering him for projects. He hinted at secret meetings that never happened. Then came the fatal mistake. In a radio interview, Tyrese said Denzel was gatekeeping Hollywood, not helping young black actors enough, not passing the torch. He said Denzel kept his circle too small, too exclusive. Within 72 hours, something remarkable happened. 3 different directors called Tyrese to say he was no longer being considered for their projects. No explanation, just, "Sorry, we're going in a different direction." Later, one of those directors privately admitted they'd received a call from Denzel's team. Not Denzel himself, his team. The message was simple. Washington wouldn't work with anyone who hired Gibson. The most brutal part? Denzel has helped dozens of young black actors. He paid for Chadwick Boseman's education at Oxford. He mentored Michael B. Jordan. He produced films for his son, John David Washington. But Tyrese? He doesn't exist in Denzel's world. And after 2025's Presidential Medal of Freedom ceremony, where Denzel thanked 17 different actors by name, Tyrese's absence was louder than any insult could have been. American Gangster should have created an unstoppable partnership. 2 Oscar winners at the height of their powers, playing cat and mouse in Ridley Scott's crime epic. The film made $157 million. It got 2 Oscar nominations, but it also ended any possibility of Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe working together again. The problem started during pre-production. Crowe wanted to reshape his character, add scenes, adjust the narrative balance. He sent 47 emails to Ridley Scott with suggestions. Denzel sent 0. He trusted the script, trusted the director, trusted the process. When Crowe tried to get Denzel on his side, suggesting they unite to get more screen time for both characters, Denzel's response was blunt. "The script is fine." On set, Crowe's method involved staying aggressive between takes, maintaining his character's energy. Denzel's method involved complete transformation the moment he heard action, complete release the moment he heard cut. These philosophies crashed into each other daily. During their interrogation scene, one of the film's most powerful moments, Crowe wanted 12 takes to explore different approaches. Denzel nailed it in 2 and walked off set. When Crowe complained to Scott, the director sided with Washington. If Denzel says he's done, he's done. The press tour was a masterclass in professional distance. They did exactly 4 joint interviews. In each one, they sat at opposite ends of the couch. When asked about their chemistry, Denzel talked about the script. When asked about future collaborations, he talked about the past. And when Russell Crowe praised Denzel publicly, calling him the best actor of his generation, Denzel's response was telling. Russell's committed to his craft. Not he's a great actor, not he's brilliant, just committed to his craft. In Denzel's vocabulary, that's the equivalent of saying someone tries hard. Here's something that just surfaced in 2025. When Ridley Scott was developing Gladiator 2, he approached both actors about potential roles. Crowe was interested. Denzel initially passed. It wasn't until Scott guaranteed they'd have no scenes together that Denzel signed on. Think about that. Denzel Washington would rather avoid Russell Crowe than miss out on a Ridley Scott film. The real tragedy in all of this? These are all talented actors, Oscar winners, box office champions, artists in their own right. But talent isn't enough for Denzel Washington. He demands something more: discipline, focus, respect for the craft. And once you show him you don't have those things, you're done. No second chances, no redemption arcs, just silence. In August 2025, when Denzel admitted he doesn't watch movies anymore, he also said something else: "I've made too many." But sources close to him suggest that's not really why. The truth is, Denzel Washington stopped watching movies because he got tired of seeing actors who disappointed him succeed anyway. He got tired of Hollywood rewarding the very behaviors he spent 40 years rejecting. Right now, as you're watching this, Denzel Washington is performing Othello on Broadway 8 times a week. At 70 years old, he's still approaching every performance like it's his first, still praying before every show, still holding himself to standards that nobody else can meet, and still refusing to work with anyone who doesn't share his devotion. The 6 actors on this list aren't officially blacklisted. There's no paper trail, no public declaration, but in Hollywood, everyone knows. When Denzel Washington stops returning your calls, your collaboration is over. When he stops mentioning your name, you've been erased. And when he refuses to stand next to you in a photograph, you've become invisible. The most telling detail: not one of these actors has publicly criticized Denzel Washington. Not one has called him difficult or demanding, because they know something we're only beginning to understand. When Denzel Washington cuts you off, it's not personal, it's professional. And in his world, that's so much worse. If you want to know which current actors are on Denzel's good list and who might be next to get cut off, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Comment below with which actor surprised you the most. And remember, in Hollywood, respect isn't earned, it's maintained. And once you lose Denzel Washington's respect, you never get it back. The man who just received the Presidential Medal of Freedom doesn't need Hollywood anymore. Hollywood needs him, and that's exactly how he wants it.